Hello everyone, welcome to the last part of chapter 2. In this part, we are going to talk about computer languages. As we have mentioned earlier, computer languages has developed through 4 generations and currently we are using the 5th generation. The first generation of computer languages, which is called machine language, it consists of series of zeros and ones representing data or instructions. Machine languages depends on the machine. So code written for one type of computer doesn't work on another type of computer. It is actually to write in a machine language, it's very time consuming to write a code and it's very difficult. The second generation computers, or maybe you have heard about assembly language, is basically machine dependent and it's a higher level language than a machine language. So they are using a series of short codes to represent data or instructions. For example, to add or subtract, there are typical commands in assembly language that can be written. Third generation computers or computer languages, or they are machine independent, and they are being called high-level languages. Such as some of the languages, maybe such as C++, Java, VB.NET. These are typical high-level languages that you can think about, third-generation computer languages, which they are being used still in the industry. These languages are used mostly for web development and internet applications, and that they are higher level languages than the second-generation computers. They are more like English kind of a language, so they are easier to learn and to do the coding. Still, there are a lot of syntax that you have to be familiar with. We have also fourth generation languages, which are the easiest computer languages to use. There are, again, commands are very powerful, very easy to learn, and it's an English-like language, so it is very easy to learn. So maybe some of the commands that you can think about, it's the SQL or structured query language, which we will talk more in a database class, is a great example of the fourth generation language. Next, we have the fifth generation languages, which uses some of the artificial intelligence technologies, such as knowledge-based system, natural language processing, visual programming, and also a graphical approach to do programming. Codes are being automatically generated and designed to make the computer solve a given problem without a programmer intervention or any minimum programming effort. These languages are also designed to facilitate natural conversation between the users and the computer. They are languages that can be used also for internet programming and web development, which include ActiveX, JavaScript, Perl, Python, PHP, Visual Basic. So these can actually be the fifth generation programming languages. So the most important web development language that maybe you can think about is HTML or XML. XML, that can be, both of these languages can be used to actually create a program on the web. I think that concludes our lecture. So at the end, I just want to mention some of the keywords that you have to remember: application software, ALU, assembly language, bus, cache RAM, central processing system, cloud storage, computer, what is a control unit, what is a CPU case, what is disk drive. We talked about fifth generation languages, fourth generation languages, three generation languages or high-level languages. We talked about input devices, machine language. We also talked about magnetic disk, magnetic tape, main memory, motherboard. We talked about NAS. We talked about operating system. We talked about optical disk. Also, we have talked about RAM, we talked about ROM, we talked about RAID or redundant array of independent disk. We talked about secondary memory, server, a secondary area network. So you can look up these key terms from your book. Also, please look at the review and discussion at the end of chapter 2 to kind of understand more about this chapter. For the end of this chapter, you have to do a discussion and also an assignment. I'm going to also put the answers for a section that's called Are You Ready to Move On? And I will provide those answers for you so that you can see and review them. So at the end of this chapter, you just have to do one discussion, which is posted on Module 2, and also one assignment. I hope you have a great time, and I will look forward to speaking to you in another lecture. Take care for now. Bye-bye.